What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I am going to be talking about how lust poisons every single aspect of your life. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because this is actually the most common topic that I have been getting asked questions about through Instagram and different platforms over the past couple months. This is a huge problem that men are struggling with, and I want to be able to break things down and frame them for you in a helpful way. I've talked about how my dad was very open and honest with me when I was younger. He knew that porn was going to be a problem. He knew lust was going to be a problem, so he addressed it early on. And yet a lot of men are stuck out there in situations where nobody has talked about this type of stuff to them. Here's your opportunity to listen and learn something from a random dude on the internet. I want you to see your life, all right? The habits that you have, the routine that you have, everything that makes your life successful as a castle. And when you don't treat lust like an enemy, when you decide to let it through the gates, it will poison the entire city. A lot of people say, oh, lust isn't that big of a deal. Treat it with balance, you know? This is not something that you can let into the castle walls. You have to fight in order to keep it out. You have to treat it like an enemy. Why is this? All right? Why is lust so incredibly detrimental? Why is lust so toxic? You must first ask yourself the question, what is lust in and of itself? Let's break it down to its core. Porn is watching another dude have sex with the girl that you would like to be having sex with. You're watching them on a screen. Choking the chicken, beating your meat, masturbating, is pleasuring yourself thinking of a reality that is not yours. You are thinking about a woman that is not with you at the current moment. You are thinking about doing things that are not your current reality in order to pleasure yourself. When you are lusting after a woman, when you are looking on a woman with lust, that is you wanting something that is not yours. I've talked about in previous videos how looking at the woman is not wrong. But when you look on her to lust after her is where it becomes a sin. So what's the common thread here? What's the core that you can trace through porn, through masturbation, through looking at women with lust? Envy is the root of all of these actions. And what happens when envy takes root? It leads to bitterness. And what do people do when they are bitter? What do people do when they aren't happy with what they have or what they have been given? They try to take what isn't theirs. I call this grasping for Eden. It's our attempt to grasp for the Garden of Eden, but we fall so short because of our fallen nature. There's a reason why in the Bible God placed an angel with a sword to protect Eden and keep us out of it. He placed the angel at the gates of Eden because we weren't allowed to gain entrance anymore. We are not allowed to grasp for something that is not ours. Fulfilling your sexual desire in marriage is the closest we can get to actually purely fulfilling our sexual desire. But what happens when bitterness starts to take root? Well, what it does is it starts to lead to defiling others. All right? It says that in the book of Hebrews. And this is something that people say all the time. They say, oh, lust isn't that big of a problem because I'm just doing it by myself. I'm not hurting anybody. Brandon, it's not as serious as you say. It doesn't poison every aspect of your life. It doesn't do that. I'm just doing it by myself. I'm just doing it like without hurting anybody. Wrong. Bitterness leads to defiling others. You are defiling your current wife, your future wife. You are defiling yourself, your body, both spiritually and physically. And you are defiling who you are watching. Go look at the industry. Go look at how messed up it is. And you will quickly find that it's not an industry you want to be supporting. And you are defiling a lot of people who are in terrible situations through taking part in this. Porn and giving into sexual desire becomes more perverse and more violent as time goes on. Studies have proven this time and time and again. You start to watch weirder things. You start to get off to weirder things, more violent things. Your bitterness and your envy, which is the core to doing all of these lustful actions, ultimately ends up hurting other people. Even though you may just tell yourself, oh, it's just me. It's just me that's doing it by myself. I'm not hurting anybody else. And the last thing that I really want to end this on is that how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you are constantly giving yourself instant gratification, you're not forcing yourself to work for that pleasure, you are allowing envy and bitterness to grow like a weed inside of you. And all your other actions ultimately end up being motivated by the same thing, by this envy and by this bitterness. And you start to go through life, and instead of doing things for others, you start to become obsessed with trying to take what is not yours in all the other aspects of your life. And when you are inevitably not satisfied because your desire returns and now it's more intense and you can't control it all the more, you start to cope. And you start to develop a victim mentality. You say, oh, it's not that bad to give into it. Oh, I couldn't even fight it if I tried. You start to say things like, oh, this is just a natural desire that we have that we need to fulfill. No, it's an itch that even when you scratch will never go away. And the more you scratch it, the more irritated it will become. The more itchy it will become, the more painful it will become. Don't get stuck in this spiral. And what this does ultimately is it perverts every aspect of your life. You start trying to get things the easy way. You start doing things because you're motivated by trying to get something that somebody else has instead of wanting your own life for you, wanting your own success for you. Hard work becomes 10 times more difficult because you are used to getting the quick fix, to pleasuring yourself, to ending up at the finish line with all of the pleasure and none of the pain. Do you see why this is such a big problem? It puts a wedge between you and your Creator because your relationship with your God is something that's hard, that you have to work for. And oftentimes, when you start growing in that direction, all you do is experience more difficulty. Things get harder. You think it becomes easier the closer that you get to God? That's not how it works. You are going to be tested. Dark forces are going to be coming after you. Your relationship with that which is pure and good and beautiful takes work. It takes difficulty. It takes sacrifice of your desires every single day. And every single step that you take towards fulfilling your desires as quickly as possible, with no difficulty involved, you undermine yourself. You undermine your entire sense of being. You look at other people and want what they have instead of putting in the work that it takes in order to get it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to drop a like down below. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you watched all the way through to this video to the end, because if you did, you've got an attention span of steel, my friend. I want to give you props for that. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.